Welcome back to Solo Marvel Champion. Today I'm continuing my series of player cards. Today we're looking at protection in the core. First ally is Black Widow, who can be very good depending on the scenario. 3 cost, 2 thwart, 1 attack. She only has 2 health. She has a really good interrupt. When a card is revealed from the encounter deck, that can be any card. I was thinking it was only Treachery card until I actually reread the card. It's actually a little bit better than I thought it was. Exhaust Black Widow, spend a mental resource, cancel the effects of that card, and draw a new encounter card. I think she's situationally good depending on the scenario. Almost every scenario, though, has that one card that's really going to mess you up. So she is good protection against that. Yes, you are going to get a new card to replace it. But if Shadow of the Past comes out, I would use her every day to cancel that and draw a new card. I might draw into something a little bit worse, but I don't have my Nemesis coming out in that case. So Black Widow's pretty good. Luke Cage is a 4 cost, 1 thwart to attack ally with 5 health, which is really good, and he has toughness. So the turn you play him, he gets a tough card, he's going to block the villain that turn, knock off his tough, and then he has 5 health to work with. Now, depending on how you play, you might get 2 blocks out of the villain with that, you might block a bunch of small minions over time, or 2 attack over 5 turns is 10 damage. Now, using First Aid, you can extend that to 14, but I think most people pretty much use them up to 1 health and then block the villain with them. Luke is good. He's just a little bit expensive, and I don't think I've played him enough to actually really appreciate what he does. So both of those are pretty good allies. I would lean towards Black Widow, number 1 for the cost, and number 2 for her ability to not have Shadow of the Past come in. Next we have a couple events. Counterpunch is good, 0 cost. It is an attack after your hero defends against the enemy. Deal damage equal to your hero's attack value. Now, defense has changed a little bit since the beginning of the game. So this is a little bit better than when the game first started. You can defend either by basic defending or by playing a defense event. So you could play a defense event and then follow that up with counterpunch. Obviously that's going to be better in heroes that have a high attack value. 2 is probably okay at a minimum, but 3 plus I think counterpunch gets really, really good. Get Behind Me, Hero Interrupt. When a Treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects, and the villain attacks you instead. That can be very good. There are some really, really bad Treacheries out there. The problem I see with it is, once you get it in your hand, or once I get it into my hand, I kind of feel like I need to hold on to it. And that's just, interfering with my draws going forward, because I'm going to be drawing 1 less card. I do like Get Behind Me with the right hero in the right encounter or scenario, but for the most part, I tried Get Behind Me several times, and for me, I just wasn't excited about it. We have 1 support. Med Team, 3 costs. It has 3 medical counters on it. Action, Exhaust it. I didn't mention this in any of my other videos. I did put a text box up about it. That actually means you can do that in hero or alter ego form. It's not a hero action. So that does add a little bit of value. Exhaust it and remove 1 counter. Heal 2 damage from a friendly character. Friendly character, of course, can be an ally. I think that's way more valuable to use that on an ally than to use it on your hero, unless he's right on the cusp of dying. Med Team is good. It is basically First Aid on a stick that you can use when you need to. So if you're thinking about playing a an ally heavy deck where they're not just there for chump blocking, but to get there, to be there and get some work done, Med Team is a really good card. Next, we have two pretty good upgrades. Armor Vest, it adds 1 tier defense. That can be really good. Some heroes have like a 3 defense. This gets them up to 4, and that is really, really big. Especially when you're talking about the perfect defense archetype. In perfect defense, you want to defend and not take any damage so that you can kick off some other abilities. Armored Vest, especially at 1 cost, really goes a long way in that archetype. The next is Indomitable. So 1 cost upgrade response. After your hero defends, discard Indomitable, ready your hero. Now, that can be good. It really depends on if you even care about using your basic attack, thwart, or even recovery after defending. If your other stats are good and you want to be able to do that, then Indomitable is a good card. Defend, take little to no damage, ready, and then during your turn you can still attack or thwart, or if you need to, flip down and ready. So Indomitable is a good card, especially at 1 cost. It doesn't go into every deck, but heroes, again, who want to defend and still be able to do something else during their main phase with their hero, Indomitable can be really good. Of course, that only leaves Power of Protection. Like all the Power of cards, I mean, these are pretty much staples if you have, say, 7 or 8 cards that require 2 or more resources in protection. I actually had a tough time deciding which card in Protection Core I think is the best or a staple, because they all are really dependent on how you intend to play and dependent on your hero. I think, all around, Black Widow might be the best core protection card just because she gives you the opportunity to not get really messed up by the encounter deck. You can play her in pretty much any protection deck and get that protection from the encounter. Using her ability doesn't damage her, and there are some abilities, or I shouldn't say abilities, but encounter effects that will just deal 1 damage to every character you control. So you might just let her sit there and not even thwart with her if you're in an encounter where that could happen. Because that 2 health is a little bit squishy, and then cards like First Hit and Med Team are less efficient because, you might use it, but then only need to heal 1 damage from Black Widow. So Black Widow, I'm almost thinking, depending on the scenario, you just put her on the battlefield and let her use her ability without thwarting or attacking, just so that if you get one of those deal 1 damage, she doesn't go away. Those are my thoughts on protection. What do you think is the best card in core protection? I really like Counterpunch, but again, it depends on your hero's attack value. I really like Indomitable, but it depends on if you want to be using your basic attack, thwart, or recovery after defending. For those reasons, I really do like Black Widow and think that she's the best core protection card. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what I was wrong about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.